This is Pocket Watching with JT, the call-in financial talk show focused on helping you get your money right. Jason Thornton is a certified financial planner, licensed in both tax and investments. Now, this is not personal financial advice. This is JT's real reaction to all your money and business questions. Are you deep in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and looking for a way out? Call Pocket Watching with JT, the financial advisor for the people. Need more? Book your personal consultation with my man JT at pocketwatcher.net. Now, let's go Pocket Watching.
Hey, Pocket Watchers, welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. Listen, we're going old school here on Pocket Watching with JT because we got to clear some things up, okay? We have to clear a few things up because I think there's some misunderstanding going on in these YouTube streets. But first and foremost, big shout out to the over 70,000 of you who have subscribed to Pocket Watching with JT. I appreciate that, each and every one of you. So here we go. Let's get this thing going. Apparently, a expert in space aliens is not a big fan of the Pocket Watcher. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't understand why the brother is so upset. But I think this is an opportunity to have a teachable moment. There we go. There it is. I think today in this show is an opportunity to have a teachable moment. So I'm going to lay out how we got here. I'm going to lay out, hopefully, what led me to make the videos that I made. And hopefully you'll also learn a little bit about defamation lawsuits, stuff like that. Because why not use this as an opportunity to teach the people? All right. So here we go. Here we go. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Pocket Watching with JT is live. So here we go. Here we go. So I want to say about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I had a consultation with a client. Let me give you a little background of this client. Now, obviously, CFP client confidentiality, I'm not going to give you the actual details of this client, but I can give you some general information so you can understand what happened. So, had a consultation with a client about, I won't say 2 to 3 weeks ago. This client is a senior, okay? They are recently retired, just left their job, recently retired. Not only that, they are in an unsecure situation with their home. Now, I'm a big fan of making sure that your home is paid off by the time you enter into retirement. I don't like my clients to have a mortgage when they're on a fixed income in retirement. But, this client came to me later in life, just very recently. So their situation is they are recently retired and they have a mortgage on their home and they're unsecure about will they be able to handle this mortgage. They do not want to lose their home because this home is actually an inheritance from their parent. It just still has a mortgage on it. All right. So we're all on the same page. So while having a conversation with this client, I find out that they recently made a rather large investment in cryptocurrency. Or at least this is the story that I'm getting. They said, I just made an investment, $8,000 in crypto. I was like, hold on. Wait. What is hold on here. I said, you are on a fixed income. You do not have the money to invest $8,000 in some speculative, most likely worthless cryptocurrency, right? I'm like, whoa, hold on, slow down. There's no way you spent $8,000 on cryptocurrency. So as we're going through the conversation, I find out that they really didn't invest in cryptocurrency. The $8,000 went towards a cryptocurrency education course. Because at first I'm thinking to myself, well, hold on, we need to just sell it off. This is what I tell you. It's like, I don't care where we are right now. Whatever it is, we'll take the L. Let's sell whatever. I was like, what is it? What did you buy? Was it Bitcoin, Ethereum? What did you buy? She was like, well, no, it's not exactly crypto. It's a course in crypto education that's going to teach me everything about the technology, about how to invest in it, how to even make my own crypto if I wanted to. And they told me that by the time I finish this course, I'll be able to make all my money back and then some, right? I mean, I'll be able to make like $20,000 a month in passive income with this course. Okay. See, I don't believe this, but I'm listening, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm listening. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think she's going to get her money back. This is what I'm saying in my head. I don't think they're going to get their money back, but I'm going to do everything I can to get this money back. We got to figure something out. So here we go. I asked her the question, why would you ever spend $8,000 on a cryptocurrency online course? Someone had to sell you this, because this isn't something that you would do on your own. Now, a little insight to the financial services industry. I'm a certified financial planner. I've been doing this stuff for a while now. But the overall industry of financial services is extremely predatory towards seniors. Yes. Senior citizens are a huge target when it comes to predatory sales in financial services. They get sold a bunch of junk. They get sold very, very bad annuity products. They get sold bad penny stocks. They get sold bad crypto stuff, because there are very many senior citizens who have not properly prepared for retirement, and they're looking for something to bridge the gap between what they have and what they need. They no longer have the youth and the energy to work overtime, to work hard labor jobs. They don't have that anymore. So they are scared of eating cat food. They're scared of being broke. So there are a large number of seniors who are, targets for financial service scammers, right? Put it that way, all right? Large target on their back. So I asked her, listen, someone had to have sold you this BS. Who told you? Who influenced you? Why would you buy this? And this is when she tells me, Billy Carson. I've been watching a lot of Billy Carson videos online on YouTube. This is what the client said. They've been watching a lot of Billy Carson videos, and he was hyping up, promoting, selling, however you want to put it, a cryptocurrency course. This particular course that she bought. And I just looked at her and I was like, who is Billy? I was like, listen, I'm in these YouTube streets too. I've never heard of Billy Carson. I'm like, who is Billy? And why would you take a recommendation from Billy to spend $8,000 on a cryptocurrency education course. All right. Okay. All right. So I said, all right, let me look this guy up because I'm confused. I'm confused. So I'm gonna share some of the Pocket Watcher research here. So I'm gonna pull up to the screen some of the things that I was able to find online. Okay. So here we go. This is the first thing that I'm looking up because I'm like, okay, who is this fella? Who is he? What does he do? And why is he able to get a senior citizen to invest $8,000 in a cryptocurrency course? All right, so as you can see, this is Billy Boy. This is Billy and this other gentleman. And as you can see on the screen, you see it right there. It says, discover a proven method to generate over $20,000 a month in passive income without breaking the bank. Now, honestly, listen, this isn't $20,000 a month. You're not going to learn how to make $20,000 a month in cryptocurrency, period. Like, I don't believe there's a way. Like, I don't believe it exists. I don't believe there's a course that exists that's going to teach you how to consistently make $20,000 a month in cryptocurrency. Don't believe that exists. None whatsoever. But I understand something. What do you understand, JT? What I understand is that there are many people out here who you are financially unstable. It's not a dig at you. It's not me trying to judge you. It is a reality. A majority of Americans are financially unstable. And when you are financially unstable, it only makes sense for you to constantly be in search of, looking for some way to bring financial stability into your life. And for many of you, if you could find a way to consistently bring in $20,000 a month passively bring in $20,000 a month, I'm pretty sure that will solve most of your financial problems. I'm just guessing. I'm not a mind reader, but I'm guessing if you can find a way to bring in $20,000 passively every month, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of your financial problems would be solved. Am I saying something wrong? To the chat, please let me know if I'm saying something wrong. But I'm pretty sure $20,000 would solve your financial problems. So she mentions and she talks about, hey, she saw him on YouTube. So I said, okay, I've got to check this guy out. I got to check out his YouTube stuff. And immediately, this is what pops up when I put in Billy Carson in YouTube. These are the videos that I see pop up. And I said to myself, we have a problem. We have a problem. This is what I'm thinking. I'm giving you my honest reaction. We have a problem. Because I'm seeing alien talk. Like look at ancient civilizations, multiple dimensions, aliens, and time with 19 keys and Billy Carson on the Earn Your Leisure Network. I said, man, it's going to be a long day. I said, it's going to be a long day for the pocket watcher. This person has just handed off $8,000 to an expert in space aliens. Here we go. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. So I looked at her and I said with as much compassion as I could, I asked him, why would you take a financial recommendation from a self-proclaimed expert in space aliens? I don't get that. That part doesn't make sense to me. They have no financial education or certification or license. Why would you put $8,000 of your very limited resources, put it into a course based on the recommendations of Billy? Now she said, hold on, JT. Billy Carson is highly educated. Billy Carson graduated from Harvard University. And I'm saying to myself, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I've been doing this pocket watching thing for about 2 years now. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. I'm a certified financial planner with over 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate that, right? Because I understand there's a lot of people online on YouTube who claim to be financial experts. They have on Rolexes. I don't wear Rolexes. They pull up in Lamborghinis. I don't drive a Lamborghini. No flash. Nothing here. There's no jewelry around my neck. No swag. None of that. I'm giving you straight financial tips, straight out of books, stuff that I learned in college and stuff that I've practiced at my firm. I'm giving you the same financial tips that people pay me $450 an hour to give them. I give them to you on YouTube. It's not sexy. I tell you, you need to live below your means. I tell you, you need to live on a budget. I say, have an emergency savings fund. I say, pay down your debt. I say, don't ball out. Don't throw your money away. Right? That's what I say. And I have 70,000 subscribers. So I say thank you to that. Bye. Back to the story. So she says that he graduated from Harvard. I said, ain't no way. In my head, I'm not going to disrespect the client. But I said, ain't no way in my head. I can tell just by listening to this man, he did not go to Harvard. I can tell by the way that he speaks and the subjects that he speaks on, the combination of all these other things, ain't no way. But I said to myself, I'm going to humor her, okay? I'm going to humor her. I am going to type into my search engine, Billy Carson, Harvard University. That's what I'm going to do. Billy Carson, Harvard University. That's what I typed in. And I'm going to be honest. Billy Carson graduated from Harvard University. I'm sitting there like, hold on, whoa. What did I do? Did the pocket watcher judge a book by its cover? Billy Carson graduated from Harvard University. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to show you what I saw. It blew my mind. Blew my mind. So here it is. This is what pulled up. I said, hold on. Hold on. Billy graduated from Harvard. I said, hold on, buddy. It's right here. Right here. Harvard Business School. Says it right here. Here we go. Dr. William Carson, an African-American alum of Harvard University, became the president and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Okay, all right. My bad. My bad, Billy. My bad, Billy. I didn't know you had. Listen, Billy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't listen. I had to eat a little humble pie. Little humble pie. I had to eat a little humble pie. I said, man, I missed it. But something in the back of my head said, hold on, JT. There's no picture with this article. I don't want to jump off the cliff too soon. So let me make sure we're talking about the same Billy. Could be a different Billy. I said, all right, hold on. Maybe a different Billy. So I said, okay, well, let's see if Dr. William Carson, African-American, alum of Harvard University, president and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Let's take a look here. And this is what I found. It's a different Billy. This isn't my Billy. This is a different Billy. I said, whoa, okay. Let me calm down. I thought I messed up. My 2 years of pocket watching almost was thrown out the window. I said, maybe I don't got the gift. Maybe I can't sniff out the grift. Then I realized, hold on. Here it is. This is the real William H. Carson, who graduated from Harvard. I said, okay, all right. All right, now I'm back. I feel like I got my swag back. I feel like, okay, all right, okay. You almost got me, Billy. You almost got me on this one. All right. Clever. All right. Well, where's my Billy? If this isn't my Billy, where's my Billy? All right, let's keep digging. Let's go down a rabbit hole. So here's my Billy. This is my Billy. All right, this is my Billy. And as you can see, Billy does absolutely claim his education from MIT and Harvard University. Well, what did he study? This is what I'm asking myself. What did Billy study? And it seems as if Billy studied neuroscience at MIT and ancient civilizations at Harvard. But when you investigate it, when you look at it a little harder, you'll see that it was certificates, right? Certificates. And I said, hold on, a certificate in ancient civilization? A certificate in neuroscience? All right, well, let's dig into this a little bit. All right, here we go. Pyramids of Giza, ancient Egyptian art. I said, okay. All right, well, what does it take to get this certificate, this particular certificate? What would it take for me to be able to claim that I studied ancient civilizations at Harvard University? Apparently, it takes absolutely no money. The course is free, online course for free. And it takes about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. You can get it done in 8 weeks. It's self-paced, 2 to 4 hours a week. 2 to 4 hours a week. Hold on, Billy. 2 to 4 hours a week in 8 weeks. That's not a whole lot of studying. Not at all. Okay. All right. So it's a free course online, 8 weeks long, 2 to 4 hours a week. All right. So that's that certification. And then when we take a look at MIT neuroscience, another certification, six weeks long. Not very impressive to me, Billy. Now, I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings. I'm not saying this to no. Once again, I'm coming from the position of trying to protect someone who is a senior, who is on a very limited budget, and somehow, some way, your spell, your charisma, you are able to get someone to invest $8,000 in a cryptocurrency course. And I'm not seeing any qualifications for you to even speak on the subject. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at it. So now I got to dig in a little deeper because I'm hot. I'm upset. If you would have a conversation with the client kept apologizing to me. And I had to explain to them, I'm not mad at you. I'm upset with them. Don't confuse my anger being that I'm mad at you. I'm mad at them because I feel as if they took advantage of you. All right, so let me dig a little deep. So I said, hold on, let me take a look at what's going on with my Billy. All right, so I jump on YouTube and see if any other YouTuber have covered this subject before. And absolutely, I am not the first YouTuber to take a look into who is Billy Carson. Not me. I'm not the first one. So here are a couple of videos that I looked at. It gave me a little bit more insight on possibly who Billy Carson was. A little bit more. I was like, hold on, let me take a look. So shouts out to these YouTubers. You see them on the screen. These videos, if you want to see what I was looking at, that kind of helped me understand where I need to go to find who Billy Carson. These are the videos that I watched that gave me a little bit more insight, right? That's what I was looking at. So I said, okay, all right, let's dig a little deeper in this. Let me go down the Billy Carson rabbit hole. Let's see what's going on. So in those videos, I believe one of those videos, if not all of them, but at least one of those videos, I remember hearing that Billy possibly changed his name. I was like, okay, well, people change their names a lot. I mean, there's many reasons to change your name, right? You can change your name for a spiritual reason. You can change your name for a religious reason. Change your name when you get married. There's many reasons to change your name. But at least in one of those videos, or maybe the video took me to another website, can't remember right now, but it's connected to this. I came up with the name William Tyrone Karlson. I said, well, who's Tyrone? All I know is Billy. Who is Tyrone? So, okay, let me jump back online. Let me see who Tyrone is. And when I put Tyrone's name in, I was able to see, and this is like the Secretary of State's for the state of Florida, right? Secretary of State of the state of Florida. I was able to see that Karlson, 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 William Karlson, is the one who started Forbidden Knowledge. Right here. You can see it right here. Forbidden Knowledge started by William Karlson, William Tyrone Karlson. I'm like, all right, man, what is going on? I'm getting confused. Apparently, this character, William Karlson, he's been very busy starting up a bunch of different businesses in the state of Florida. The one business that's kind of funny to me that made me laugh a little bit, if you can see about halfway down the list, he started the Bikini Basketball Association. I'm not sure how that worked out for him, but I'm a little interested. To see how the Bikini Basketball Association worked out for Tyrone. But all right, let's keep it moving. So I'm looking at, Billy, and I'm seeing the William Karlson thing. So now I'm diving even deeper down the rabbit hole. And I want to make sure this is the same guy. So I look into Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated. And yeah, this is Billy. This is William. It's like, see, right here it says Carson for the registered agent. Carson, Billy Carson. But when you go to the actual document here, Forbidden Knowledge Inc., you'll also see the original filing. He wasn't going by Carson, Carson. He was still going by Karlson, Karlson. Listen, I was getting confused. I'm trying to think what is going on? We got the Bikini Basketball Association. We have, Billy Carlson and Billy Carson. All right, I'm getting a headache. I'm a little confused. So I decided, okay, let's go to the court system of Broward County. Because if a person legally changes their name, there's a record of it, right? There's a record of it. So I said, okay, let me go to the court system just to see, is this my Billy? This might be another Billy. We don't know. So I go to the Broward County website and I put in Tyrone. I put in William Tyrone Karlson. And this is what popped up. There's a couple of things that jumped out at me, right? A few things that jumped out at me when I saw this. The main two things that caught me was the 2 third-degree felony cases. And then I also see the change of name case. I'm like, uh-oh, this might be my Billy. This might be my Billy, because when you look through William Tyrone Karlson's interactions with the Broward County justice system, we have third-degree felony, traffic infraction. Traffic infractions, everybody speeds from time to time. Little speeding ticket, maybe something like that. We've got credit card debt stuff. We've got a Caribbean Cruise Inc. versus your tour consultant. Listen, I dived into that. It would take me too long. But just know it seems as if there's a lot of funny business going on. But all right, let's keep it moving. Traffic infraction, contract of indebtedness, change of name, more issues with credit card damages. There's some stuff going on. But I said, okay, let me look into this whole name change thing. All right, Broward County. So yeah, it shows, here's the case right here. It shows that yes, it seems as if our Billy changed his name. At one point, it was William Tyrone Karlson. At another point, it's Billy Carlson. All right, Billy Camrick Carlson. Why the name change? I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I can't dive into this man's heart and soul and tell you why he changed his name from William Tyrone Karlson to Billy Camrick Carson. I don't know why, but I can tell you this. As a certified financial planner, I tell my clients, if you're working with someone, you're dealing with maybe a business partner, someone trying to sell you an investment, if they have a history of changing their names willy-nilly back and forth, it's a red flag. It's absolutely a red flag. Period. All right, let's move on. Now, after seeing this, I'm somewhat confirmed that this is my Billy. Seems like my Billy. So, okay. Now it's time to look into the court case, the felony, right? The third-degree felony. What happened with William Tyrone Karlson, aka Billy Carson, with the Broward County, right? With this felony. All right, let's take a look into this. So I dig into this and I see that there are fraud charges, and these fraud charges are based on some like identity theft type of issues, synthetic identities, fake IDs, opening up credit card accounts, a lot of messy stuff. Now, I will admit, and I want to be clear on this, the Billy that's on this document, this Billy is not some sort of big time criminal, right? He's not some sort of mastermind. We're talking about small time petty stuff. That's why in my original video, I said that Billy appears to be a grifter. See, grifters are small time petty swindlers, right? No big time scheme, not millions and millions of dollars. Talking about small time petty stuff. So that's why I said apparently he's a grifter. This is a small time stuff. I'm not talking about big money. I'm talking about small money stuff. But when we look at this, okay, what's going on? Now, what I'm about to read to you is the statement from the officer that arrested Billy, all right? Based on the documents from Broward County, that's how I read it. This is a statement from the officer who arrested Billy, all right? It says, I read defendant Miranda warnings via card, which he waived. Now, any of you who watch Law and Order or any type of cop movie or show, you know what he's saying right now. When they say you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to this, you have the right to that. That's what the cop is saying. He said, I read him his Miranda warning rights on the card. So he used the card to read off the Miranda warning rights. The cop is saying that after he read Billy his rights, Billy waived his rights. So he was not going to remain silent. He was willing to still talk to the cop even after being read his rights. All right. The cop then says, and admitted that the license was fictitious. He was caught, according to this, he was caught trying to open up a Chase Bank account with this fake ID. All right. And based on how I read this, it says that he waived his Miranda rights. And he admitted, yes, this is a fake ID. Says defendant advised that he purchased the license off the street in Miami. Just off the street in Miami, he bought a fake ID. All right, okay. That's how it goes down in South Beach. All right, let's keep it going. Defendant advised that he went on a website, netspend.com, where he was able to acquire the credit card. So he used that, he got the fake ID, he went online, and he got the credit card in a name and a social security number that wasn't his own, based on what I'm reading here, okay? Now remember, the cop is saying Billy is admitting to this. This is what he's admitting to, all right? Says defendant, which is Billy, advised that his credit is bad. Now, once again, I'm not trying to shame Billy. This isn't a shaming thing on Billy. Apparently, his credit was bad. Here's my issue. There's a bit of an inconsistency in Billy's story. Because if you've watched some of Billy's videos, if you've, been following him for a while, he tells this fantastic story about how he came into wealth. And there's even one video where I heard the man say, he did not get rich off the conscious community. This is what he said. He did not get rich off the conscious community. He said he was rich before the internet. Before the internet was jumping off, this man was rich. Well, okay, let me do my math. If we want to say before the internet, we're not going to be technical. I'm not going to be petty. I'm not going to be petty and say, well, actually, Billy, the internet was actually started in like the late 60s. And no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to take him at his word and say, okay, when he's saying before the internet, he's probably saying before the internet was popping off. The internet really wasn't really popping off until like the mid 90s, but I'm going to give you a little bit more grace because if you're a kid of the 90s, you know that you got flooded in the mail American Online CDs. You know what I'm talking about? But still, we're talking about dial-up internet, bad internet. Okay, let's bring it up a little bit. So can we safely say around the early 2000s? The time when everybody was on the internet, because in the late 90s, everybody wasn't on the internet. Maybe a few people was on the internet, dial-up internet at that. But let's say, okay, let's get past 2000, 2003. All right, I'm going to give you 2005. By 2005, virtually everyone, at least in the United States, virtually everyone was familiar with the internet, had access to the internet. So I'm going to give you 2005. So when Billy says that he was rich before the internet, I'm going to give him around 2005. This is in 2013. Billy is admitting, right? Billy is admitting that he had bad credit in 2013 to the officer. Says defendant advised that his credit is bad and could not open an account under his real name. Okay. Little inconsistency here, little weird. He's got an ID in the name of Charles Rubin. He's opening up accounts and whatnot. Little weird. All right, here's some more. There's another gentleman's ID that he had. And this particular, now listen, this is all the stuff that came up. There was so much stuff that came up. But when we're talking about this guy, I mean, you look at the cars. He had several. When the cop arrested him, in his vehicle, he had an American Express card from Costco. he had a K Jewelers card. He had a Visa card from Barclays. He had an American Eagle Visa card. American Eagle? Really, Billy? I didn't, okay, American Eagle. All right. He had a GE Capital Retail Bank card, credit card. All right. Okay. A bunch of stuff. None of this stuff is in his name. None of this stuff is in his social security number. Actually, there's a man whose name was Tony Bellamy, who was a victim of this situation because his social security number was used to open up these credit accounts. Tony Bellamy, right? And Tony Bellamy, it says here that in 2013, the defendant opened at least 6 credit accounts using Tony Bellamy's real social security number without his authorization. All right. It says in a sworn statement, Tony Bellamy advised that he does not know William Karlson and did not give him permission to open the credit accounts using his social security number. Tony Bellamy desires prosecution. Basically, Tony Bellamy is saying, listen, go after this guy. I want this guy to be punished for what he did. That's what Tony's saying. I'm like, all right. Okay. I see. I can understand that too, because I'm sure that messed up, right? I'm sure that messed up Tony's credit. Right? You got a guy opening up credit accounts in your name. I'm sure that can mess up your credit. So Tony Bellamy wanted some punishment for Billy. All right. Now, apparently Billy is going to go live or do some sort of presentation later today after my show. He's going to go live and he's going to apparently explain his situation. He's going to explain his point of view. And it says right here, this is the video that's going to go live, I guess, in about an hour or so. And as you can see, Billy is saying, is Billy Carson a scammer who did time in prison? Billy's going to answer the question. He's going to open up the world and he's going to say, listen, let's figure this out. Is Billy Carson a scammer who did time in prison? Now, while I'm not going to tell you to not watch his show, but I am going to give you a little bit of a spoiler, all right? Not to hate on Billy, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Here's a spoiler. Would you like to know the answer to this question? Is Billy Carson a scammer that did time in prison? Here's the answer to that question. No. All right? I'm going to be honest with you guys. No. Billy Carson is not a scammer that did time in prison. Would you like to know why Billy Carson is not a scammer that did time in prison? Would you like to know? Anybody in the chat? Would you like to know? All right. Okay. All right. Shouts out to Jacob. Jacob says yes. Okay. All right. Well, Jacob, because of you, I'm going to spoil his show. All right. The reason why he is not a scammer that did time in prison is because Billy took a plea deal. Billy took a plea deal and he was sentenced to 12 months of probation. See, now I'm starting to understand why Billy has such a big audience. Billy knows how to speak well. He knows how to kind of present information in a way that makes him look the best. Right, Billy? Listen, Billy, you're a cold brother, Billy. Billy, I'm gonna be, listen, there's no hate, there's no smoke for Billy. I don't have smoke. I don't know you. But I will tell you this, that was a smooth trick. To come up with a show saying, is Billy Carson a scammer that did time in prison? Well, no, Billy. No, you did not do time in prison. Because right here, according to Broward County, you took a plea deal and you served 12 months of probation. Once again, I said you appear to be a grifter. Grifters don't have to do a lot of hard time. We're talking about petty credit card stuff. No, you did not go to prison. This Billy Carson, aka William Tyrone Karlson, he did 12 months of probation. And guess what? He didn't even do 12 months. He got off parole or probation early due to good behavior. So, no, you did not do time in prison. You were on probation and you got off probation early based on your good behavior. So shouts out to Billy. Shouts out to Billy. And if any of you are still wondering, is this the same Billy? Because I know, listen, I know some of you Billy Carson fans, man, y'all out there. Y'all out there. I'm going to be honest. No shots, no hate, but I'm telling you, you guys are space cadets for real. For real space cadets. I had a couple of people come on the video and make comments and was like, JT, you didn't know that Billy is a nickname for William? He didn't change his name. I'm sitting there like, whoa. How could you watch that video and not get that the name change was from William Tyrone Karlson, Karlson, to Billy Carson, Carson. The William Billy thing doesn't bother me. That's the point I'm trying to make. The William Billy thing does not bother me. It's the Carson thing. That's what kind of bothers me a little bit. But for those of you who are still saying, I don't believe that's my Billy. Okay, if you don't believe that's your Billy, here we go. This is the same document. This is just page 2. This is page 1, talking about the 12 months of probation, no prison time, but 12 months of probation for William Tyrone Karlson. But he has a special permission slip. And if you, listen, William Carson fans, If this doesn't convince you that it's the same person, I don't know what will. If you can see lines number 22 and 23 of this document, there's a special permission slip that William Tyrone Karlson has. And on this permission slip, it says the defendant is allowed to travel between the dates of, 5/1/14 to 5/16/14 to Egypt. Billy got a special travel card to go to Egypt. If this ain't the same guy, the coincidences are ridiculous. He's got a special pass to go to Egypt. Come on, listen. Listen, what are we doing? What are we doing? How can this not be the same guy? How can this not be the same? All right, okay. All right. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. So, any reasonable person by now, I think we're on the same page of who Billy Karlson, Tyrone Karlson, Billy Carmrick. I think we're all on the same page. All right. Now, I want to explain something about bringing unwanted attention to a situation real quick. So, my original video that I did was less than 10 minutes long, and it had probably less than 10,000 views when I received a cease and desist letter from Billy's legal team. And I just started shaking my head, saying to myself, why would you do this, Billy? For as smart as Billy thinks he is, or as smart as Billy fans think he is, why would he want to pull more attention to a situation? At the time that I got that cease and desist letter, that video was about 2.5 weeks old. It didn't even have a lot of views, relatively, right? It didn't have a lot of views. Eventually, honestly, I believe the story would have died down. But for whatever reason, Billy probably got a little tight, and Billy decided to send a cease and desist letter to Pocket Watching with JT. What he doesn't realize is the information that I presented in that less than 10-minute video was only a fraction of the research and the investigation that I actually did. I just didn't feel the need to show all of this stuff at the time. My main focus was he's a guy who talks about space aliens, but for some reason he also sells cryptocurrency courses. I had a client who bought $8,000 worth of this cryptocurrency course. I felt as if she got scammed. She thought that Billy Carson was a Harvard graduate, and I wanted to make sure that no one would fall under the same misunderstanding that Billy is some sort of Harvard graduate, expert in cryptocurrency and, the owner of a multi-billion-dollar company, because there is a William Carson who did all of that. There is a William Carson who graduated from Harvard, who became a president and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. That is someone who exists. It's just not Billy Carson, the self-proclaimed expert in aliens. That's really all the video was about. Really, that's what it was about. But because I guess he got a little tight, he sent a cease and desist. And now, in order to kind of explain what happened, all of this other information come out. Understand, in the first video, I didn't even talk about the fraud charges. I didn't feel like it was, worthy to kind of lump all that in. I just wanted to make sure that people knew that Billy Carson, the alien guy, isn't Billy Carson, the doctor, multi-billion-dollar company guy. That was my main thing. I also wanted to say, hey, if you want to listen to him talk about aliens, have fun. But when he starts talking about investing and stuff like that, don't do it. But here's some more information because he decided to send me the cease and desist. Here's some more information that maybe some people weren't aware of. So Billy Carson, the Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated company, is actually an investment that you can buy. You can buy, I guess, shares of Forbidden Knowledge. And some people was like, hey, JT, check out this company. And I did, but I just didn't feel like making a whole video of it because I didn't feel it was necessary. But Billy, because you sent the cease and desist, here we are. So this is the website where he was advertising that you can buy into his company. Now, you may overlook it, but I want to make sure that you see that for whatever reason, he is evaluating this company at $30 million. $30 million. This is the evaluation. This is the evaluation of the company. $30 million. Sounds like the Tulsa Real Estate Fund to me. Sounds a lot like the Tulsa Real Estate Fund to me. $30 million. Okay, he believes that it's worth $30 million. Listen, whatever, have at it. But here's one of the big problems that I had with this company, right? And this is why I would never recommend anyone buy into this company, right? I just wouldn't recommend it. Now, understand, I'm not saying this as a guy on the internet. I'm not saying this as a YouTuber. I'm saying this from the standpoint of a certified financial planner. This is what I do for a living. For a living, this is what I do for a living is I give people financial advice. That is what I'm paid to do. That's where the name Pocket Watching with JT came from. Some people come on my channel and say, pocket watching, you're a grown man that pocket watches. Yes, I went to school and I studied pocket watching. I went to school and studied accounting and finance and marketing. I went to school to study how to give people advice on how to use their money. I also went to school to study how to observe how people use their money so that I can give them recommendations of how to better spend the money. That's why I named the show Pocket Watching with JT. But all right, let's keep this going. So here we go. Here is the income statement of the company. Now remember, this is a company that he's claiming is worth $30 million. $30 million. All right, so we see in year 2019, it was a decent year for a company. I'm going to be honest, decent year. It had a net income of $281,000, right? Let's just round up and say $300,000. That's a decent year for a small business. Decent year for a small business. Now, in 2020, it had a loss. And it had a loss of about $70,000. Now, listen, that's not even the big thing, right? That's not the big reason. Now, I still don't believe that this company is worth $30 million. And I would never, ever recommend anyone buy into this company. I think it's an absolute loser as an investment. But the income statement, while I'm not happy with it, that's not the deal breaker. The deal breaker is the balance sheet. To me, the deal breaker is the balance sheet. Now, let me explain why the balance sheet is a deal breaker, okay? Let me explain why. The reason why this balance sheet is a deal breaker is because according to this balance sheet, in 2019, Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated had total assets of $529,851 worth of assets. That is impressive. Over $500,000 in assets. In 2020, Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated had $548,477 worth of assets. Once again, another year of having over $500,000 in assets. Now, That still does not warrant a $30 million, a $30 million evaluation. Not even close. But I still think that's good. Here's the problem. As you can see, I put a red box around a particular number. This red box represents debt. What kind of debt? It represents money that is owed to the company. Somebody owes Forbidden Knowledge a lot of money. Somebody. In 2019, somebody owed Forbidden Knowledge $489,553. All right. In 2020, somebody owed Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated $465,273. Now, that's way more money than the company actually has. In 2019, the company only had less than $30,000 on hand. But somebody owed the company almost $500,000. In 2020, the company had less than $60,000 on hand. But somebody owed the company almost $500,000. Well, who could it be? Who could it be? Well, according to this balance sheet, it says due from related parties. What does that mean? For those of you who did not go to business school, let's break this down. Related parties means someone who is connected to the company. That's what related party. Related party means someone who is connected to this company has borrowed way more money than the company even has on hand, right? Somebody borrowed the majority of the assets of this company. Well, let's see who it is, because we can look at the footnotes. Let's just look at the footnotes. Let's figure this out. We got to get to the bottom of this. Who owes this company almost $500,000? All right. Let's take a look at this. Back it up a little bit. All right. So it says right here, from time to time, since inception, meaning since the beginning of the business, from time to time, since inception, the company grants funds to its president and founder, Mr.Billy Carlson. So Billy is the one who borrowed this money from the company. Billy did. And now you may be wondering, what are the terms of this loan? All right. If it's his company, listen, it's his company. He can do what he wants. He borrows a lot of money from his own company. A lot of money. Now, if he wasn't offering it as an investment for other people, I wouldn't have a problem. It's your company. If you want to borrow $500,000 from your own company, have at it. But the second you offer it as an investment to other people, red flag. But okay, let's take a look at this. What are the terms of this loan that Billy gave himself? It says, which bears no interest. What? Hold on, you gave yourself a 0% interest loan? Now, once again, if it's your company and it's not open to the public to invest, no problem. But the second you invite people to invest in a company, it's a red flag. Now, when does he have to pay the money back? It says, and has no defined maturity dates. Meaning there's no terms. There's no interest that he's paying on this money. Listen, in a minute, I'm going to pull up the number on the screen. It's a call-in show. You can call me up. You can ask me questions. Maybe I miscommunicated something. Maybe I said something that was unclear and you're a little fuzzy on the facts. When I put the number on the screen, you guys can start calling in, okay? But I'm telling you, if you ever find a company that's offering you to buy into it, to be an investor in the company, and the owner of the company has borrowed 90% of the assets of the company, and there is no defined terms of when he's going to pay the money back, and it's a zero interest loan, red flag. You don't buy into a company like this. All right? Certified financial planner. Free financial tip. Don't buy into companies where the owner has given himself a loan of around 90% of the assets of the business with no defined terms of if he's ever going to pay the money back. All right, now, okay, so just to summarize, and I'm gonna put the number on the screen so you guys can start calling in. Yeah, I can start giving me a call. Just to summarize. Now, JT, why are you doing all of this? Why are you putting this brother on blast? Once again, it's because a client of mine, I feel, was scammed out of $8,000 to buy a cryptocurrency education course based on the recommendations of Billy Carson. That's the story I was told. A couple of days ago, I've got a love letter from Billy Carson's legal team, right? Let me pull it up here. This is from his legal team. And they're saying, be advised, dear Mr. Thornton, be advised. Our firm represents Billy Carson relative to defamation statements which have been published about him and his business on the internet, including false accusations of rampant criminal conduct. Listen, if there's false accusations of rampant criminal conduct of Billy Carson on the internet, it's not pocket watching with JT. It's Broward County. Send this letter to Broward County if you have beef. Not me. I'm not the one who did it. But okay, let's keep going. It says, as a fellow minority business owner, our client is shocked at your reckless disregard for the blatant falsities about him, and you have decided to publish on social media and presumably elsewhere. You misrepresent him and his business, as well as the business dealings with third parties. You further perpetuate and propagate a lie that Billy Carson has been incarcerated for scamming. See, the attorney, I think the attorney helped him craft his defense. And listen, that's what you hire an attorney for. You hire an attorney to help you defend yourself. And I can tell right there, they're trying to shift the narrative. They're trying to say that I said he went to jail for scamming. Never said he went to jail for scamming. I said that he was arrested for fraud charges. I also said that he took a plea deal. And today I'm explaining to you a part of that plea deal is that he served or was given us a sentence of 12 months probation. Billy, don't try to out-wordsmith me. I know you took your course online with Harvard and MIT, but don't try to play word games with me. I read financial contracts all the time. You know, I'm not an attorney, but I have to read through a lot of words and contracts. I know when they try to go through loopholes. So you and your attorney are trying to make it seem as if I said you went to prison. Never said that. I said you were arrested for fraud charges. You copped a plea. And now it's clear to see you were put on probation for 12 months, but you got out early for good behavior. So I want to tell you guys something. I called this attorney several times. When I say several times, I called this attorney over 10 times over the course of 3 or 4 days. Over 10 times. I kept getting the receptionist, and I can tell it wasn't really it was a virtual receptionist. You know, you can hire a company that will take your calls and route your calls to you. So I called them several times. I left several messages. I was told that they was going to call me back. Never called me back. Okay? Never called me back. Now, right before I start taking calls, I would like to tell you who did get a call. Right? This is the end of the story. I'd like to tell you, I didn't get a call from Billy's attorney, even though I left a lot of messages. In the letter, it tells me that I need to call them before a certain date, or they're going to move forward with a defamation lawsuit against me. All of these big time threats, based on the way that I read the letter, all of these big time threats. If I don't take it off the internet, I'm going to have to all this stuff. I called at least 10 times, never called me back. But there was somebody who got a call. Would anybody in the chat, do you want to know who got a phone call? Anybody? Any guesses who got a phone call? I didn't get a phone call, but someone did. Here we go. My client got a phone call. My client got a full refund. $8,000. $8,000 refunded to the bank account of my client. Listen, it's worth it. All of this was worth it to me. My client was made whole. $8,000 put back into their bank account. So, Billy, listen, you can say whatever you want to say on your live in about 45 minutes. You can claim all of this stuff. I don't care what you say. You can talk about how I am a secret reptilian alien trying to bring you down and all. You can talk about all that stuff. Whatever you gonna say, you can say it. My client got their money back. That's the whole thing. That's all I cared about. Client got the money back, and I got an extra 30,000 views out of it. So, not a bad week. Not a bad week, Billy. All right, so here we go. We're going to the phone lines. We've got a caller from the 516 area code. So give me 1 second while I bring up these callers. And I want to shout out everyone who gave me a super chat. Trust me, I'm gonna give everyone a shout out. So give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the callers. So right now, let's listen to these messages from Mo Money Taxes.
Hi, I'm Mike Evans with Mo Money. Tell me, what do you know about Mo Money?
Brother, all I know is I was here last night getting my taxes done, and today, there's more money all the way. You know what I'm saying?
And how about you?
In here yesterday, back today to get my check. Mo Money stuff is real. I'm Mo Money for life.
I the slow money? Well, come to Mo Money, because we about that. Mo Money Taxes, and once again, it's on, and I got the hookup.
Mo Money Taxes. Come down and see us, and you'll be glad that you did. At Mo Money Taxes, you're more than just another number. This year, we're offering our 30-second refunds to go along with our next day refunds. Come down and see us, and you'll be glad that you did.
Continuing saga of Mo Money Taxes. Norfolk police are investigating the tax preparer, and they have alerted the IRS about customers' complaints.
Where's my check?
That's the question all of these people want answered.
The IRS is basically verifying to us that our money is here in their bank account.
Friday, crowds gathered at Mo Money Taxes in Norfolk. On Granby Street, owner Mario Brady told us he printed 50 checks and 30 did not clear.
The banks have refused to cash their checks, saying that there is fake. I mean, that is unacceptable.
Federal agents raided the headquarters of Mo Money Taxes in Tennessee this morning.
You may remember 10 on Your Side traveled to Memphis for local Mo Money customers who claimed they didn't receive their refund. We continue to follow another developing story. New tonight, tensions continue to run high as customers wait for their tax returns that they say we're not getting from Mo Money Taxes. You can see the level of anger just a few hours ago at this Norfolk location off Brambleton. Angry customers who say they were promised refund checks and didn't get them broke windows, and police were called to break up the angry crowd.
That's just ridiculous.
Marcus Eves, a former customer who says he filed his taxes with Mo Money in 2007, is worried about what we recently uncovered behind this Mo Money Tax Services location on Elvis Presley.
This is wrong for, files to be out here. This is people's personal information that anybody could have come by and gotten.
Investigators are now looking into the discovery of thousands of documents thrown into 3 dumpsters behind the facility. Shortly after authorities arrived on scene and put up crime scene tape, so did Marky Granberry with Mo Money Taxes.
Normally, we would have all files shredded and shredded or whatever, but we don't throw files in the garbage can.
I asked him what happened and why the documents were not shredded.
Our lease was up on this operation, so I assume the landlord went inside of the location and for whatever reason he decided to throw the files in a dumpster.
All right, people, we are back. We are back going to the phone lines. We got a caller from the 516 area code. Caller from 516. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey,
Whoa. Listen. I don't know if you're on some Bluetooth or what's going on. I can barely hear you. Put the phone right up to your mouth so I can hear you. Oh, man, it's not. I don't know if it's just me. Can y'all hear him in the chat? It's a little rough.
Can you hear me now?
Much better. What's going on?
Man, JT, I love it when grifters try to use the legal system to get their way, you know? I've seen too many defamation lawsuits to know that anything you read on that piece of paper is just a threat. That's it. They don't plan on following any of that up.
Listen, Billy, real talk, Billy. I'm talking straight to you, Billy. Billy, get a refund, man. I don't know what this lady charged you to write this letter. And listen, not only did the letter came in an email, and it also came FedEx to my office on some of the best quality paper. I mean, it felt like card stock. Like, this is some high quality paper. But Billy, get a refund, man. I think she swindled you, because that letter is absolutely meaningless. It is worthless. I called the attorney's office at least 10 times. She never called me back. Go and get your refund, all right? Because not only was it a waste of money because she never followed up, because of the letter, I got another 30,000 views on a video about you. The whole thing was to minimize the exposure of the story. You blew it up, Billy. What did you do? Listen, I'm not the guy who can project myself outside of myself and watch myself as I'm speaking like you, Billy. But I don't think that was a good deal, man. I don't think it was a good deal, Billy. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Because the more I think about it, the more I come to realize that, like, the people who are getting scammed, it's not that they don't want to. It's not that they can't believe in it. They want to believe in it. They have to believe in it. You know, like, their life is.
Oh, you cut now. I can barely.
This change.
Oh, you're cutting it out. You're cutting out in and out. I can barely hear you, but I want to make sure I reiterate what you said, because it's very important. You said that they want to believe it. That's a great point. They want to believe it. That's how most scams are successful. It's not that the person is dumb. It's not that the person, is tricked. It's the fact that they want to believe something, and somebody comes in and they feed them what they want. So you will deny all the evidence to why it won't work because you want it to work so bad. But listen, caller from 516, please call back in, because I can barely hear you. So call back in. I'm going to go to the next caller. Caller from the 405 area code. Caller from 405. You're live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hello, is this me?
This is you. You're live on the air. What's going on?
Okay, great. It's strange because I can't really tell if I'm on the phone or not.
Yeah.
I wanted to say thank you very much. I really do. I speak that sincerely. I appreciate you. I accidentally came across your video. I don't know how, but I am a follower of Billy Carson. I haven't watched him in a few months. I found him about 8 months ago. And I almost invested with his company.
Oh.
And I'm a person who is below poverty. And I didn't do it to get rich, but because I do believe in some of the things he speaks of.
Okay.
I'm not going to judge him on that. But what I'm going to say is, shame on you, Billy Carson, because you took truth. And some of us have been delving into this for a lot of years before you ever came along. For me, it's 12.
Oh, wow.
Shame on you, because you are hurting your people. And I'm going to tell you what, sir. I don't get emotionally involved. I don't comment on YouTube. I'm behind the scenes. I don't give a crap about any of that. But this is terrible.
Oh, wow.
Because you are hurting your people. Okay, we're trying to get along with your people right now. And when someone like you comes along and you do this crap, this is wrong.
Right.
And I hope the universe, if you really did this, and you are the scammer that we're finding out, I ask the universe to bring you down, because I am an energy worker and I do work on this world. And I had a really bad feeling about this man. Yeah. And I just, people, do not be mean to this man for putting the truth out there. Okay. Wake up, grow up. He's a black man too. If you want to side with someone because of their color, side with him because he showed you the truth. Okay. That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for calling in. You have a great night. You have a great night. Listen, no, I mean, I agree with a lot that she said. Listen, if you like his content for all of the other stuff, the ancient civilization, all of that's cool. The main point that I'm saying is, I would not recommend for you to invest money with him. Main point. All that other stuff, yeah, you do what you want to do. But investing money is not something that I would recommend based on the research that I've been able to find, and also based on the experience that a client of mine had. I thank God that we were able to get a refund of that $8,000 all of a sudden yesterday. Yesterday morning, I got a call from the client, says that she got a call from the owner of the company or whatever, and she got a $8,000 refund. So, all right, here we go. Next caller from the 904 area code. Caller from 904. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hi. So I watched a couple of your videos, and a lot of them are, financial guys that I followed, including Billy. And
do you consider Billy a financial guy?
No, more esoteric.
Okay, because I just got confused because you said a lot of my videos are about financial guys, including Billy. So I got confused. But go ahead.
Well, as I stated, he kind of does both. But I would say, if I would say he specializes in something, I would say it would be more like esoteric.
Okay.
Ancient civilization.
Okay, but in your view, as a fan of his, he does dabble in finance and investments, right?
That's correct. I do believe that he does dabble in financial literacy too.
Okay.
So I don't agree. I mean, the fact that he gave back the $8,000, doesn't that mean he's not a scammer? And just to put things from my perspective,
right?
I own a company, and I would have a fee, but when a person would get upset with me about the fee, instead of letting them be a upset customer, I would just give them that money back, because negative information travels faster, way faster than positive. So it's like you don't necessarily want that headache over a fee. You know what I mean?
No,
and then
I agree 100%.
My next thing is,
hold on, before we move on to the next thing, slow down. Before we move to the next thing, I want to actually answer your question, because you specifically asked me, and you made the statement, doesn't that make him not a scammer? So I want to answer that question. First off, I never called him specifically a scammer. I said, based on the conversation. Hold on, time out. Let me finish. Listen, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you.
Is a scammer not a grifter? Just
listen,
make sure. I just want to know so that I can
listen,
get the words right and make
you're,
sure
you're
I
great.
completely
You're great. You're
understand.
great. I'm going to give you time to speak. Let me answer. What I said was based on the client's experience, based on what I know about this client, based upon what I know about their financial situation, I felt as if they were scammed out of $8,000. I then asked them, well, who was the person who sold you this course? Then I looked into that person. And I saw that this person was someone that I would never recommend. Now, I'm a licensed financial advisor. I would never recommend anyone to invest any money with this man, right? That's the point that I was trying to make. And I also wanted to make sure that no one confused Billy Carson, the space alien expert, with the Dr. William Carson, who is a Harvard graduate, who also did, own and was the president and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Wanted to make sure that was clear. That was the point of the video. So for you to say or make the statement or ask me, my client getting the refund, doesn't that mean he's not a scammer? It's a weird question to ask, right? A grifter? No, I mean, did you see the?
What is a grifter? Is a grifter
a
not
grifter
a
is
scammer?
someone?
That's my question.
Well, it depends, but a grifter, based on the definition of the word, if you watch the other video, a grifter is a person who engages in petty swindling. That's the definition of the word grifter.
Okay, now let's break down swindling.
Okay, we absolutely will when I'm done talking. When I'm done talking, we will. So if you go through the Broward County, listen, lady, listen. I'm going to let you speak, but this is my show. I think you get confused. And sometimes I can understand because people get excited when they get on the air. They forget whose show it is. No one can hear you right now. You're muted. They get excited and they forget the situation and how stuff works. It's my show. I'm going to give you time to speak, but don't overtalk me. So a grifter is someone who engages in petty, small-time swindling. When I read through Billy Carson's history with the Broward County court system, I believe that fits the definition of a grifter. So you can go ahead and speak.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to go ahead and speak. I'll try to be quick.
Absolutely.
Okay, just 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first thing is he gave the lady her money back. Okay.
Time out. Yesterday, after the 2 videos. No, I gotta make it clear. Oh yeah, I forgot to let you know this.
It won't take
this
long.
This show. No. This is Pocket Watching with JT, and on Pocket Watching with JT, when I'm engaging with the audience and there's a point that I need to make, you may get talked over. I get to. That's the power of having the show. But I'm always going to allow you the opportunity to finish what you're saying. But I just want to be clear. You're saying that he gave the person the money back. Well, not unprovoked. We had to do 2 shows. We had to do 2 shows, and then there was a refund. But you are now unmuted. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say more, but you interrupted me.
Yeah,
so
because that's the prerogative of having your own show.
I understand.
So go ahead.
But just let me talk. It won't even take long if you stop interrupting me.
Well, I got to make a point.
But
go ahead.
Shouldn't I be allowed to make a point if I had the courage to call in?
You are, and I'm giving it to you.
Disagree?
Go right ahead.
Are we not allowed to disagree without
absolutely?
I can't even get that out of my mouth without you saying something.
Well, because that's my conversation. You probably haven't seen a lot of the shows, but that's
I haven't.
How I do it. So,
I haven't.
But once again,
so
I'm going to give you an opportunity to finish.
And want to have a point that you're going to interrupt them, not allow them to speak, and jump in and mute them every time you don't like what they say.
No, it's not about not liking what you say. It's when you say something that can be misleading or you mischaracterize something that I did or said, I will interrupt you. But go right ahead.
But you don't even allow me to finish my point. You don't even know if I am mischaracterizing. You're not listening to me.
Go right ahead.
I want your permission to allow me to speak
without
you interrupting.
Go right ahead.
Once I'm finished,
go right
if
ahead.
you hear something
go right
that
ahead.
is not correct,
Go right
you can
ahead.
then come in and
Go right
are
ahead.
you going to allow me that? Yes or no?
I think that's what go right ahead means.
No, I want to be clear because we already know that grifter may mean scammer, may mean swindler. So I just want to be clear with the words that we use. Can I speak without you interrupting me? Yes or no?
No. I'm not going to let you just speak on and on and
Okay.
on without me interrupting. So if
I won't.
you go on and on, I will. So I will not agree to that. But please go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So all I was saying is
Mm-hmm.
maybe she could have asked him for the money if she felt scammed, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems like you felt that. Secondly, I'm not going to stay on that point. I think that we have to take accountability. I've purchased courses and I've lost money listening to certain people and I've made money listening. Ultimately, what I found out was I had to do my own studying and my own research, and it was nobody's fault, okay? That white lady just said to you, they stick together. You know what I mean? What I don't like about your show is
Time out. Sorry, I have to interrupt you. Time out. I have to correct you. That's not what she was saying. What she said was,
I know what she was saying.
No. Well, apparently you don't, because you mischaracterized what she said.
She said
what she said was her experience. You're muted. No one can hear you. What she said was her experience with the Black community, and she was a member of a mostly Black church. What she witnessed was that they stuck together, that they would support someone even if they were wrong. That's what she said. You're making it sound as if you're making it sound as if the white woman said that white people stick together. Yeah, you see, you misunderstood, and that's why I have to interrupt you, because I don't want that to live out there for too long. I'm going to correct you in the moment that you're wrong. But go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now back to my next point.
Okay. Can we agree that that point right there, you were wrong before we move to the next one?
I misunderstood what she was saying. I thought she was saying that white people stick together no matter what, which actually they do.
Well, that's not what she said. So
in that particular point, that's not what she was stating.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, Black, white people, Jewish people, gay people, everybody stick together.
Okay.
When I look on your channel, I see nothing but Black people. And I'm like, whoa, do you not know any white people that scam? Are there no white grifters? Because if I look at just strolling down your page, 95% of all your content is on Black people. And I just think that's a little weird. Like,
you think that's weird?
And
okay.
Then,
all right. So let me address that. Let me address
that.
Would you like to know why most of the subjects of my videos are African American or Black? Would you like to know the answer? Okay.
Yeah.
The answer to that question is Pocket Watching with JT, this whole brand of content that I make, I actually don't focus on the perpetrators within the video. I focus on the victims of the video. My show is really focused and targeted on how to warn potential Black, African American, however you want to categorize it. I focus on the victims. And it just so happens that the victims, Black people, are normally scammed by people who look like them, because there's a particular thing about fraud, right? White collar crime fraud is normally an affinity fraud situation. Affinity fraud, for those of you who don't know, affinity fraud is a fraud that is perpetrated by someone who is in your group, who is in your clique. Many people may not realize this, but Bernie Madoff was a Jewish man. Many of Bernie Madoff's victims were Jewish. Why? Is it because he hated Jewish people? No, it's because he was one of them and he had a level of trust because he was a part of the group. So that is why most of the people that you see featured on Pocket Watching with JT are Black, is because we focus on affinity fraud in the Black community. So you're welcome. That's the answer.
All right. So based on the fact that he gave this lady her money back, do you still think he's a grifter?
No,
Because
based on can I answer? Based on his history, based on his history with the Broward County court system, that's why I think he's a grifter. Does that answer your question?
I didn't even finish my.
I'm sorry, go right ahead.
That's my point. It's like when I try to say something, you jump in and you mute me.
I answer the question.
Answer a question.
But go right ahead. Apparently you weren't done. You weren't done with your question. So ask the question.
No. Well, you completely derailed me. I was trying to get it out, and then you just jumped in and answered something that I wasn't asking.
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to redo.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I would say to your people, we have to.
Hold on. Is this a question or a statement? Because now it sounds like you're giving a statement. Are you asking me a question?
Well, now
are you doing a statement?
Now I'm going to give a statement because I see that you're not going to allow me to complete, and that's if you allow me to finish.
Well, I mean, I didn't know this was statement time, but go right ahead.
I'm upset that I even wasted my time and tried to call and speak to you guys because clearly there's a whole negative force going on here.
Negative force.
But anyways, what I was saying to you is I would just advise people just to do their own research. I've listened to guys, I bought courses, and I might have felt like it was worth it, it wasn't worth it, but at the end of the day, I had to accept responsibility. We can never blame anybody for what we did. We always have to accept responsibility for anything that we do. If I'm with a guy and he is abusive to me and I allow him to do that, guess whose fault it is? He shouldn't be being abusive. He shouldn't be an abusive person. But at the end of the day, it's my fault.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Sorry. I got to shut that down. Sorry. I got to shut that down. Listen, people call me a victim blamer. People call me a victim blamer. I will not allow a woman to try to equate domestic violence as the victim having the problem in that situation. Sorry. See, this is the mindset of some of these Billy Carson fans. She was literally talking about domestic violence situations and saying, well, you got to take accountability for being with a person who physically abuses you. All right, let's go. Next one. We got a caller from the 213 area code. Caller from 213. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Yeah. So for the callers out there that are impatient, and when you get on here and you have an issue, do you want to be told that you made a wrong turn the moment that you made it or a mile up the street? You know, that was one point. The second point is Billy Carson, his time should have been expired. You know, he's told us 3 or 4 years ago that he was 65 years old, and it was all thanks to his colloidal silver that he was selling on his website, from the raffles of used cars to the alien probing, you know, Anunnaki, you know, I'm not going to go in on the belief system. It's okay for people to believe what they want to believe, but we have to wake up and see when all of this strings into predatorial, you know, like practices in advertising. We are targeted. That we're a market and we're targeted, and whether it's 19 Keys, these people that really, we have no idea, you know, and they don't have any idea. They're just incentivized to keep making content because views matter. I don't know if you guys heard the Earn Your Leisure episode when they weren't talking about the actual financial literacy that they supposedly support, but they were bragging about who was doing more views, Billy Carson or 19 Keys, and this and that. It's you know, and it's the same thing as astrology. And I'm not, you know, whether we believe it or not, some people are preying on the vulnerable, and they have to keep making content because it's incentivized for them to get viewership. So we got to wake up. You know, stop giving your money and your time and attention away and listen. JT is one of many people that's actually trying to expose this, but he's doing it from an angle that you can't hate. We're looking at real financial records of their crimes. so that's all that I have. You know, JT, I really appreciate you. My whole family. I could be in one room, my wife be in the next room. We both watch. I don't care. You know, this is great. I love it. You know, please, because we need somebody advocating for us.
And listen, brother,
appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who hit that subscribe button, who supports this content, even for the people who disagree with me, the people who say they don't like my tone and the way that I say stuff. Listen, understand, I'm not for everybody, but I want y'all to know that it actually comes from a genuine place. I really am just looking out for consumer protection, right? Consumer protection at the end of the day. People don't understand how money works. They don't. Generally, people don't understand how money works. Most people mismanage their money, and they find themselves in a situation looking for a financial savior. And when you're looking for a financial savior, you're going to find someone dressed up in a financial savior costume, and it's going to probably turn out to be a scam. And I just want to show you guys the red flags, the type of research that you can do within 10 to 15, 20 minutes that can save you from losing your life savings. That's what I'm trying to do here. That's the main focus. But hey, bro, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling in.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. All right, here we go. We got a lot of callers. I promise I will not have you on mute for 10 minutes. I'm going to do the best I can to actually have a functional show. So here we go. I got a caller from the 754 area code, then 516, then 620, then 904, then 313. I'm going to try to get you all in. So here we go. There's more callers, but that's the order that I'm going in. So caller from the 754 area code. You're live on the air.
Greetings, my brother. Peace to you and everything that you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And in a transparency way, man, this conversation, and that's what bothered me, unfortunately, with the young lady prior to the gentleman that just went, is that our community is so dismantled because we want a leader, right?
Yes.
Our community is so dumbfounded from the idea that, well, let's not even go, okay, that's one. But then the other opposition is the fan base that you see society carry, whether this is my favorite person, I don't care if they're wrong. Let me find a way to defend that.
Right.
So those are a couple of things. With the Mr. Carson thing, like again, like the gentleman was saying, I don't prevalently take it so personal because unfortunately, I was actually in the chat as well. It's all about logic over emotion that you're speaking on, and obviously that's a part of finance too. As a young brother, I'm trying my best to overtake amongst the emotional connection that we have with money. So, you know, like we spend it like we don't live tomorrow, and that's the psychic for most of us, right? So really, again, the conversation for me is that, like, let's not get so derailed on who it is, whether we feel like that was the second coming of Jesus. Like, that's not the point. Let's be thorough about the logic of, like, this the person that's I'm gonna call it out. That's scamming. Whether you take $1 and try to belittle someone else or $1 million, it's the same format. It's the same format of mindset to say I'm taking advantage of someone. So for you to make a point of saying that, oh well, he paid it back, because he saw his public opinion was going to be swayed, and then like the great point that you made, which is like, okay, I'm gonna watch how I'm gonna suck my current followers in more. Is Billy Carson a scammer that went to prison? Like you said, of course, no. So in that point, oh yeah, see, I told you. Those are the people that's gonna go crazy for him and say, no, my Jesus is still good. It's pathetic, man. It really is, because we're so contractually waiting for somebody that speaks so eloquently and say, I'm the next Malcolm X. No, watch the action. Words, I'm a writer. So that's one of my biggest issues is that like it was hard for me to go in the community, because especially with the emotional tactic that our women carry in our community, they want a leader so bad, whether it's a physical attraction, whether it's somebody that's telling them what they want to hear, so they can uproar him. And it's like, no, you need to hear the good, bad, and the ugly. There's not only black and white in this world.
There's
and
a lot of
people
gray.
Don't understand that. Yes, there's a mutuality in gray. There's a perspective where you have to understand, like, everything's not going to be, it could be firmly, but also you have to understand that black may not represent black for the next person. It might represent white. It's duality and polarity of that. So it's funny that you have these quote-unquote conscious people, but they don't have no intuition within themselves to take the ownership of their own ship, own your ship. Why are you calling, defending somebody that you're not even sleeping with, whatever the case is? Where's your livelihood that you can protect? And that's really my 2 cents with that. And like thoroughly, since then I was able to watch a couple of your videos, and that was the biggest point. Again, I appreciate you making to her. It's not about me, or from her perspective, seeming like you is trashing black men or something. It's not about that. It's about my own community. This is what's being done to my own community, and I'm able to cover that. I'm able to give you a limelight to say, watch out. Right. Don't listen to the cute words. Don't listen to the perspective of I'm trying to constantly just say things to uplift your mind, but take out your pocket. It makes no sense. Yeah, man. So again, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lot of people from the 754-954 area code. He's in our area, Broward County, and essentially, bro, you brought a court record. What else do you want? Am I making this up?
Right. I know. Listen, I know, man. But some people not gonna see it because they don't want to see it. This is for people before they get sucked into the scam. They'll get it after a while. Hopefully, it's before they blow all their money. But listen, brother, I absolutely appreciate you calling in, man. You have a great night. All right.
Likewise. Stay blessed, brother.
All right. You too. All right, here we go. We got a caller from 516. Caller from 516 area code. You're live on the air. What's going on?
Hey, JT, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear. Go right ahead.
All right, perfect. I have like 2 quick points, and then I'm going to let you off with the next caller.
All right.
The first one is that I love seeing these fake guru, more sovereign citizen factories that were built in our community that just keep popping out new and more inventive crazy to us.
Right.
Like whether it's the more with the Indian headdress or someone who has years of criminal history, maybe not this guy, but years of criminal history, saying he's reformed and his last name is Bay now, so everything is good. You can trust him with your finances. That's local, man. That's crazy. I can't respect that. They make us all look bad, JT.
Yeah.
That's it. Who's gonna believe in the black community now? Who? And this will feed into my next thing. They love to incentivize racism, right? Like money is green. If you want to build a business, it's good to build a business, but you have to take money from everybody if you want to be successful. They're like, nah, I'm gonna stick with black. I don't like white. I don't like Puerto Rican. I don't like Asian. I don't like Spanish. It's like, what are you trying to put in our community? Trying to raise little black boys and little black girls against what Malcolm Luther King and all those civil rights leaders. You're just like, nah. If you see white, just don't even interact.
It's crazy.
It's like, oh, of course, you want to see.
It's like a person can be so pro-black that it becomes a negative. They're so pro-black that it becomes a negative, to the point where they don't even understand that it's that way of thinking and that way of movement is actually helping to keep them in poverty. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm pro-black. Listen, every time I spend some money, in the back of my head, I ask myself the question, is there a way that I could spend this money with someone in my community first? Automatic. That's just the way I was raised, based on my mother and my father. Back of my head, can I spend this with a black person first to help my community before I go outside? not a hate thing. It's a trying to keep, you know, the money in the community as much as possible. So I get it. Listen, I know the issue is people can get so overtly crazy with it to the point where you'll see them, you know, getting pulled over by the cops and talking about how they're, you know, they're national and their people are indigenous to the land and all this crazy stuff. And it hurts. At the end of the day, it hurts the overall community when you're so unbalanced. You have to have some balance in your life, period.
Right. And thank you, JT, for taking my call, even after the whole audio issue. I want to say, guys like you and the real Billy Carson, the real guy,
the doctor guy, got you. Yeah,
the doctor. Man, if I could be a fly on the wall when he said, "Oh, did you hear that you've been scamming people all over the place?" And he's like, "What? No, I build a business. I'm employing millions of African Americans. Look at my resume." He's like, "Nah, the internet says you a scammer."
He's like, "Doctor, I didn't know you were an expert in space aliens." He's like, "Nah, that's the other guy. That's Tyrone. That's not me. That was Tyrone."
Tyrone Karlson.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much for calling in. You too. All right, here we go. Next caller. Caller from the 620 area code, then 313, then 248, then 315, then 803 in that order. So here we go. Caller from the 620 area code. You're live on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes. 3 quick points. Point number 1, did he miss some Mammon Capo and A. Morrison type stuff in his life?
Listen, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure where the brother came from. And once again, I don't know him. There's no personal hate. There's no personal anything with the guy. My thing is, based on public available information, I would never invest money with the guy, period. I would never invest money with him. Flat out.
Second, did one of the guys from BWO introduce him to EYO?
Yeah, 19 Keys. There's 19 Keys apparently was the guy who brought him in to the EYL side of YouTube. Yes. The guy who says, "You understand me," maybe 8 or 10 times every paragraph. "You understand me." 19 Keys.
Sir, I have a question. I thought that you were on the radio tonight. You know, News Talk STL.
Normally, yes. Normally, I'm on the radio on Fridays, but I felt like this show was special. And I wanted to have the old school pocket watching with JT vibe tonight. So people on the radio, they're still going to get a show, but I wanted a special old school where I can pull up video, because I knew that I had to bring some documentation because there's people who don't believe what I'm saying. So I wanted to make sure I was able to pull up my research and show people. So I had to go back to the old school pocket watching with JT live stream. So yeah, I appreciate it, bro. You have a great night. All right.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right. Hey, shouts out. Who we got in the building? We got what's going on? David McGill in the building says, "Good work, JT. Trust but verify." A lot of these dudes in LinkedIn profiles have weird inconsistencies. Yes. Very weird inconsistencies. And once again, I'm not trying to hate on the guy with his certificates. Right? It's not like, "Oh, JT, you're being like an elitist." No. When you get a certificate like that, those are like personal development certificates. Those are things that you do to, grow personally. It's like a class that you would take at a junior college, for like $80 or something like that, like an adult learning class, which is good. Those things are good. But when you see someone put like a personal development course on a resume and point at it like this gives him some sort of authority? Because I can tell you right now, it's going to be extremely hard for Billy to scrub the internet of all the bios that he put out in press releases that highlight his education from Harvard and MIT. He highlights it as if you should look at him as an authority because of this education. But then we find out there's 6-week certifications. One was free. Like you have no authority with that. That's a personal development thing. But big shout out to David McGill with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. I gotta check you out. Clearly you're over 100,000 subscribers because I see the play button back there. I gotta check you out. I gotta check you out. All right, here we go. Caller from the 313 area code. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey, JT, how you doing? Big fan, long-time listener.
Ah, man, thank you.
Couple of things. I wanted to kind of make a comment, and then if I could follow up with a question, finance-related question to you, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
First of all, I want to make a disclaimer that JT is probably one of the best authorities on finance out there. One of the things I definitely like about JT is that he says things that everybody can applicably do for yourself. And that's a very good warning sign, if there is such a thing as a warning sign, because when you have people out there saying, give me your money, trust me with your money, that's when you should be a little bit cautious.
Right.
But what JT says is you can invest it on your own, put it into the stock market on your own. And that's kind of leading into another comment that I'm saying, is that a lot of people out there, what they say is they don't say it actually. It's that if you just invest your money in the S&P 500 over the long run, you will actually have better returns than even Berkshire Hathaway. So, one of the best things that anybody that's listening right now is kind of starting a 401k or a Roth IRA and then just throwing in money and not even managing it, just let the money manage itself, throwing it into
an index fund
or just
some
an
index
EFT
fund
or something and just let it grow by itself.
Absolutely. Clients come to me.
Billy Carson. You don't need 19 keys.
None of
you
that.
don't need any of these guys. You just need yourself and your own money.
Most people are confused about these studies. And Marcus, my favorite chartered financial analyst, is in the building. He says, how did Billy calculate the $30 million valuation? I think he just plucked a number out of the sky because there's no way. But to the point of active management versus passive management, I'm a big believer in passive management when it comes to investing. Because when we look at the data, year after year after year, active management, meaning someone who is actively buying and selling stock for you in your portfolio and managing the money, they consistently get beat by the index. Consistently. Then when you add in the fact that the fees for that active management is pretty high compared to virtually no fees in passive investing in index fund or family of index funds, it just makes more sense. 10 out of 10 in my mind, it makes more sense to simply passively invest in an index fund and or a group of index funds or even a target date fund. Just invest passively and you'll come out on top versus trying to actively manage or have someone actively manage your portfolio. That's just what the numbers say.
Or
it's not me, it's the numbers.
Class or anything.
Oh yeah, crypto. What up, man?
JT, here's the question that I have for you, sir. Right now, I'm getting close to maxing out my 401k contribution, which I'm not 100% into because I know that the Roth IRA is the better way to go. But since I'm already doing it, what I decided to do is open up a Roth account and start off with maybe $1,200 a year, $100 every single month, and then doubling it to $2,400 and then maybe $3,600 until I hit the $6,000 or whatever number it is by the time. Is that okay in your opinion, or do you think I should just at this point sort of pivot more instead of the 401k to the Roth IRA?
Okay, so here's my tier list, and I tell this to people all the time. Shouts out to Philip Sadiq in the building. Here's my tier list when it comes to retirement accounts. My tier list is number one, the Roth 401k option. Not many employers offer it, but when they do, to me, that's the gold standard. After the Roth 401k option, then it's the traditional 401k, mainly because of the easy enrollment, the easy investing, because this is money that they are taking out of your payroll check automatically. There's nothing you really need to do. Then it's the Roth IRA, and then the traditional IRA. Now, if you have the management skill to say, I'm going to split the baby between my traditional 401k and a Roth, I would say do it. The only thing I caution people about is, if you know you're a procrastinator, you're someone who says you're going to do something, but you end up dropping the ball when it comes to financial stuff, I'd rather you max out the traditional 401k rather than say you're going to do the 401k up to a certain point, then max out the Roth and then not do it. But if you're going to do it, yes, it would make more sense, because the contribution level for the 401k, be it Roth 401k or traditional, is $22,500 this year, right? It's just more. So even if where the Roth IRA and the traditional is $6,500, but if you can split that baby between $6,500 of the Roth and then the rest completing your traditional 401k, I'm all for it. I think that would be a smart move.
Okay. Thank you for the advice. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a good one, bro. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Going to caller from the 248 area code. Caller from 248. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
How you doing there, brother?
I'm doing good. Thanks for calling.
I appreciate, first and foremost, you coming out here and being that guy who exposes the charlatans. I looked at Billy Carson, heard a couple of the things, and kind of going, huh? Like, huh? What? And as I heard what other people were saying, one of the things I think we as Black people, we make emotional decisions in places we should be making logical decisions. And so people come out here and they get entertained by Billy Carson.
Right.
And then that's the emotion. And then when it comes to them dollars and them cents, they apply that emotion over there on the logic side. And it doesn't, you don't mix the two. And so I think one of the issues is that we take that emotion on and we apply it over on the logical side, as that young lady did. I see, who you are is how my mom used to say, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when you come out here and you take information and you position it in such a way to make it look like something that it ain't, then that's the fraud right there. That's it. You spun it. You could have just put it out there and told us it was a private course or a personal development course, and you come out here and you represent it as you a Harvard graduate or something. Yeah. So right there we see that you have an issue with presentation of facts. So right there, we don't give our money to people who have erroneous presentation of facts. Right there, right? Dollars, $50, $5,000, $50,000. I see right now how you blur the line.
Right.
So I appreciate you being that.
Yeah.
As far as one thing that she said that I have an issue with is the people being Black are the people that you are the ones kind of exposing. And I think that we need to have people in our community that these are our community. And so I thank you for that. I thank you for being that guy that polices our community. Where I disagree with you, or I seem to disagree with you, is in those universal laws. I think that everything that you get, everything you sow, you reap. Everything you get, you put out there. So when we speak about even situations like money, people who broke, the reason why you broke is because you have a poor relationship to money. And until you lose that poor relationship to money, you're going to be broke. And the same thing, and I think it goes the same with domestic violence. If you find yourself in situations where somebody is broken, if you're broken in such a way that you will let a man put his hands on you, then you'll find that man who's broken his way that he'll put his hands on you.
Okay.
So y'all complete the cycle until you make yourself whole. You will be open in that way.
I've heard this argument before, and I understand the mindset of that argument. But here's where that argument falls flat on its face, right? What about a child? A child has no control over the home that they're in, or very little control. If a grown-up, be it male or female, they are abusing a child, is that child abuse? Is that caused by negative thinking of that child? Is that child thinking negative in a way where they are attracting their abuser?
Well, what I can't say for sure, but I would have to say honestly, it appears so. And the only reason I say that is because certain laws are universal. Like, and I can tell you one thing I can tell you is for sure, you will never be broke. It is inconceivable for you to be broke. And the reason why it is inconceivable for you to be broke is because it's not going to happen. Certain things don't exist in my world because I say, no, ain't no way.
See, I can't.
So therefore, ultimately, we have the power. We some way, somehow.
I understand where that's coming from. I understand where that's coming from. I've heard. Listen, I was born in the 90s. If you don't believe, in the 80s, I was born in the 80s. I lived through the 90s. If you don't think that I haven't heard about The Secret, if I haven't listened to Malachi Z. York tape, if you think I haven't heard like some stuff, I've heard all of this before. And there's merit to positive thinking. There's merit to the energy you put out, you get back. There's merit to it. But it falls on its face when you are faced with the reality of, are you telling me that people who are starving in third world countries, they're starving because they attract starvation?
See, what you're doing is you are asking me, let me rephrase it. You are telling me that you have an issue with this without any proof. See, what I can honestly say is, in all honesty, you have nothing but proof. You live proof to what I'm saying. And so you look at their situation and you automatically say, well, it's got to be different for them. But it's not different here, and you can't point out a situation that you live where you have you have planted grapes and got strawberries.
No,
well, don't work that way.
I will say this: that I can point to several things in my life where I received either grace or a blessing based on things that were completely not my control. The parents that I have, completely not my control. I've had probably some of the best parents in the history of the world. I have a father in my life, married my mother in my life who would cook breakfast for me every morning, would check on my homework, who made sure that I was able to make it to practice. That is not the norm for very many people. I have absolutely no control over the parents that I have, but I benefit greatly based upon that. No control, but a lot of benefit. And I can point out a few instances in my life where I received a negative consequence or a bad relationship or a bad incident based on things that were completely out of my control, nothing that I could have done to change it, but negativity came into my life without me attracting it. It's just because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, out of my control. So there's a lot of, it's like playing cards, and I'll end with this. It's like playing cards. When you play cards, as long as no one's cheating, when you play cards, you have no control over the hand that you're dealt. But you have control over the way you play the hand. Some people are dealt a great hand. Like if you're playing spades, somebody's got the ace, the little joker, the big joker. It's ridiculous. That's just the hand that they got. Now,
I got you.
They can fumble that bag. I'm just saying, they can fumble that bag and not get the books that they should have got because they played it bad. Another person can have a horrible hand, but they end up getting the books that they need to overall win the game. So I can't claim that I'm a great spades player just because I got a great hand. And that's what life is. And I can't say I attracted greatness based off of some, just karma or just positive thinking. There are bad things that happen to good people that are 100% out of their control. I will never say that a child that is abused were abused because somehow, some way they attracted that abuse. But I understand the point and where you're coming from. You want to stay positive, you want to keep growing, and you want to be able to bring and manifest things in your life. But what I'm saying, and I got to let you go here, there's got to be balance. We can't go so deep off the I attract everything that comes in my life, good or bad, to the point where we excuse the perpetrators of violence and abuse. They're actually responsible for the abuse that they do, not the victim attracting it, in my mind. All right, so here we go. We got a caller from 315-225-510 and 313. In that order, here we go. Caller from 315. You're live on the air. What's going on?
Hi, JT. I'm calling from New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hi. I just wanted to first off say that I was a follower of Billy Carson for years with his manifestation videos. And a couple of weeks ago, I just happened to come across your video. It came up in my recommendations, exactly what you were talking about today. And as I'm sitting there looking, I'm just in shock, and I felt really silly and stupid and duped. I couldn't believe any of this, and I'm like, I was just in shock. And then I started binge watching all of your videos about 19 keys and EYL. And I'm like, what the freak am I doing? Why am I following these people? And I felt I was like, I need to take a break from watching YouTube and everything. And it's like, all these people were leading me astray. Actually, I started questioning him when he made a video about God being Satan. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. So I'm thankful that I came across your video because it just opened my eyes. And you don't understand how you probably open up so many other people's eyes and not leading them astray. And thank you.
Listen, a couple points before you go. Number one, thank you. I appreciate it. Number two, never feel as if it was your fault or that you were being silly. Most people are not like me. I was born a cynic. For whatever reason, I was born a cynic. I was born someone that was just always huh? That doesn't make sense. As a child, I would challenge teachers and adults because if something didn't make sense to me, I didn't go along with it. Now, that doesn't make for the best of relationships because I'm considered a bit of an a-hole because of that. But most scammers, and I'm not speaking about Billy in particular, I'm just saying scammers, period. Scammers are successful because they are aware that most people are loving. Most people don't want to be rude. Most people are trying to be accepting and take people at face value and don't believe that they're liars at first. Me, 90% of what someone tells me about money and stuff like that, I think they're lying because I see it, the reality. I've had people, listen, I'm not exposing anybody, but I'll say this. There are people who you've seen on TV. There's people who you've seen on the internet. Some may be athletes. Some may be all-star entertainers. What you see on TV or your phone, tablet, whatever, is not the reality when they come into my office and they open up their books. They will tell you that they're rich. They will tell you that their life is perfect. They will tell you that you should be where they're at. But when I look at their books, many of you are doing better than them. The only difference is they have more toys. They're living paycheck to paycheck, but they have a Lamborghini in the driveway. But they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're one bad day away from their Lambo being repoed and their home being foreclosed. And the thing about them that's different from you is that when you lose your job, you can probably get another job within 3 to 6 months at around the same income. When they lose their job, or they lose the hot actor or the all-star athlete, they never make that type of money again. So they never bounce back. That's the difference. Don't believe the lie. That's the point I'm gonna make. Never believe the lie.
All right. Thank you. I won't.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling. You have a great night.
Thank you too.
All right. All right, here we go. Caller from 225, then 510, then 313. And then I think we're going to wrap things up. So here we go. Caller from 225 area code. You're live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling.
Okay, first of all, the lady before me, she said pretty much exactly what I was about to say in so many words as far as like being a follower of Billy, because I'm coming from a place where I went to church and I used to be one of those that gave all my money to the church and stuff like that. And, because we're looking for something outside of ourselves. We're looking for something to aspire to. I mean, it's kind of like, those of us who hadn't had fathers in our lives or don't have a husband, it's almost like you look at it like a surrogate father or husband or something like that. I feel like it makes you more vulnerable to those type of predators. And so, like, I'm so happy for men like you that's doing this because, it's like, you don't want to feel like you're dumb, but at the same time, we're looking for something to aspire to and look up to, and then, something positive. You know what I mean? Like, I read Billy Carson's book, and it was saying he had holes in his pants and he was poor and all of this, and he made it to the top. But that's inspiring. You know what I mean? Like, it starts to get you all in your feels, and I'm looking like, oh, wow, this is great. And so next thing you know, I paid $100 to watch his some type of thing that I paid for, and it was like a trauma release. And I'm like, yeah, I had trauma, I had childhood abuse. And it was just I was gonna release all of it by just shaking my whole body, like from head to toe. And you just shake your body and you release all the trauma. And, so I just had a good shake, and I'm pretty sure I burned a few calories, so at least that. Something. But it's kind of just like, they're playing us. And so it's like when I saw your video pop up, I was like, okay, like I didn't want to hear it. And I'm like, okay, I hate to see Black men like fighting or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to entertain negativity. I was like the crazy guy that just called. I'm like, I'm not attracting that in my life. And so, my husband seeing me shaking on the floor, like with the Billy Carson thing, he's like, why don't you just watch it? Just give it a chance. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and watch it. And so I watched it. And he broke my heart, but it still was better. Like I was, we looked it up and everything. We looked it up, all of the stuff that you said, all the receipts you gave, and I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you mean I didn't release all the trauma?
No, but see that's the thing, right? I want to be clear. Everything that someone says can't be negative, a scam. For an effective scammer, and once again, I'm not talking about Billy in particular, I'm talking about scammers in general. They have to be able to attract you with some good information, maybe even mostly good information, but it's hard to monetize the good information. They got to find a way to monetize it, and that's when the scam comes in. So, and another thing that I always say you need to be on the lookout for is when people tell you not to watch or not to look at the opposing view, right? When they say, oh, don't worry about it, because cults, this is absolutely a play out of the playbook of cults. Coach will tell you, don't go on the internet and look up any of the negative stuff. They're just haters. They're suppressive people. That's going to hurt your ability to ascend to the higher plane of thought. They'll say all of that because if you look at the opposing view, you might be convinced that there's errors in what they're saying. I tell you, look at everything. You can look at everything. That's why I showed you the receipts. Hey, if I'm wrong, then I feel like Broward County is wrong, right? If I'm point out what I said that is wrong, and if you bring me facts, I will change my mind based upon the facts. I'm not religiously or spiritually tied to my opinions. I just want to be correct. That's it. And if I see something that I don't like and it's, it opposes what I currently think, I'm probably going to check it out even more. Now, I'm going to vet it, but at the end of the day, it's about trying to be better. And you can't become better if you're not willing to admit if you've made a mistake or if you're wrong. And the only way you can do that is by checking out the opposing viewpoint. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And again, I'm just really grateful for what you're doing because, people need to hear it. And it's like, it's not easy to hear. I can see why a lot of people, wouldn't like you and all of this because of, you have like an emotional attachment to something, and then, you want to believe that you're going to attract all this and you're going to get that. And it's still a good lesson to learn, but people don't want to hear the truth. I want to get taken up on the mothership, like he said. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Stop it! He did not. He did not talk about the mothership or the baby planes or the Anunnaki. He's not saying that the mothership is going to come get the 144,000. He's not talking that stuff.
Listen,
is he?
I already had my seat, boo. I'm on the mothership, and you came here and want to just ruin that for me. So, yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But listen, greater things are for you. Even greater than your seat on the mothership, greater things are for you. All right, my sister?
Hey, thanks. And by the way, I'm just going to plug in. My husband and I, we have a YouTube channel called The Marriage Cave. So I just shouted out our thing. So yeah, hopefully we have something.
All right, we'll check it out. Thank you so much for calling in, all right?
All right, and thank you.
All right, here we go. Look like we're going to wrap things up. We got two more calls. I got a caller from 510 and caller from 313. So caller from the 510 area code. You're live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
What's going on, JT?
I'm good, man. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man. I'm calling out of Oakland, man. I'm 40 years old. I've listened to Billy Carson through other podcasts, and I listened to 19 Keys. And recently, I was listening to I think both of them on one podcast, and I said, this guy cannot be educated. The things that they're saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Oakland. So when 19 Keys is saying, I'm saying, get to the point. We know what you're saying, and you ain't saying nothing. And Billy Carson, he's talking, he's on one with Phil Valentine, and I'm like, you're trying to tell me you're smarter than Phil Valentine? I said, man, take the back seat. But no, he wants to promote. He's the one. Follow him to the promised land of the knowledge. And it's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And for all the listeners out there, when they give some knowledge, get the book. Read the book. Get the insight for yourself. Don't follow no one else. Get the insight for yourself and follow your path. Because you still got to get up and go get this money. You got to feed those kids. You got to pay them bills.
Go check out the book that they got it from, right? Because most of these guys get stuff from a book. And let me not break anybody's heart real quick. All right. Let me show you how long I've been around the conscious community. I don't want to break your heart, but a lot of these guys, the book that they got this information from, a white man wrote it. They get a lot of stuff from David Icke. Huh? They get a lot of stuff from all these other guys. They get their info and then they bring it to you like they came up with it. So I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
David Icke and the other guy. I can't. His name escapes me right now.
Right.
But some German guy.
There's William Cooper.
Yeah.
They got a lot of info from him. Like, listen, I've seen this grift before. I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
No, man. Man, get the if y'all want that type of information, get the book. It looks good on your bookshelf when you got your friends coming by. They say, "Oh, I read that," and y'all can have some interesting conversations.
Right.
But besides that, people, please, if JT telling you it's a grifter, if you don't want to hear scammer,
right?
They're grifting out there. The community overall is good because they're trying to get us to come together to relate on certain topics, and that's cool.
Right.
But you got to realize you got to get show money for yourself. You got to get knowledge for yourself and for your family. But don't give up your money. Don't give up your money.
Please don't.
I was one of those young dumb kids that thought, man, you can get rich fast off of. Oh man, if you follow this stock guy and put your money, man, I lost so much money doing that. I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to hear it from me, don't do it, people. I've lost the money. I played the game. I got Amway. I got Cut Code. I got whatever you want to do. I tried it, and it didn't happen. I think I had five people in my household taking real estate so we can go buy multi-family homes and start up the family bank. Man,
you was infinite banking, huh? You was.
I was infinitely making me bank. That's what was happening. Come on, man. Come on, JT, man. I appreciate everything you do, man.
There you go.
Keep giving out this good information, man.
Yeah.
And people, he's certified. He went to college. He went to Harvard. You ain't heard him say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or just laugh off when a word don't come to mind that you should obviously know. So with that,
yes, sir.
I'm gonna be out.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much. You have a great night. Here we go. Last caller tonight. Caller from the 313 area code. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
JT, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, man, look, I appreciate everything you do for the community. I'm like one of your biggest fans, but I can't say too much because a lot of people know who I am. And I know a lot of these guys personally that you talk about. So I'll just leave it to that.
I got you.
But I've been in this space for about 4 years. I failed like the first year, didn't really know what I was doing, found my lane. And the more I get into this, the more I realize that I don't know if what we're doing in the financial literacy space is actually going to help, like it's actually helping. I don't really know if what we're doing is helping, even if we're teaching financial literacy and you got a lot of the people that are teaching, and like you said, they have some good things that they say, but they always slip in a 10 or 20% of BS, which ruins it for pretty much everybody.
Right.
But it seems like, and you in this space too, it seems like the most popular people always have most of the BS to sell to the community. Yeah. So the good stuff don't never rise to the top enough to ever effectively make change. Yeah. And I get discouraged sometimes.
Oh.
Because I'm like, I go to these events and it might be 300-400 people lined up to get one of these guys' book. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, how? And I see some people that I see that's educated, smart. And I'm like, I can't believe it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like, if it's fake. And they're just paying people to do that just to look good.
No. But yeah, there's some of that. They have plants. They have plants in the group that get people excited. Like, oh my God, did you hear what he said? And when they say, hey, for the first 20 people who go to the back and sign up for the course, you get 20% off. And they're running down there like they're this is the greatest thing in the world. There are plants there. I mean, you've been in the industry for 4 years. You know about the plants. But I want to talk about the genuine people who, like you said, they're smart, but they're falling for this. There's two reasons that I see to it, right? Point number one, people, regardless of the level of intellect that they have, they're always going to be attracted to the easy way, right? $1 billion industry is the fitness industry. $1 billion fitness industry. Most people spend that money on the get healthy quick solutions. Diet pills, the weight shaker, the 6-minute abs. I mean, a person who is 100 pounds obese will not get a 6-pack off of 6-minute abs. The fitness model that you see in 6-minute abs had abs before they were in the video. We are attracted to what's easy. Like water goes the path of least resistance. But over my 40 years, I'll be 40 later this year, I've come to the conclusion that the greatest things in life are things that you achieve through struggle. The things that I value the most in life were the things that came to me the hardest, the things I had to study for, the things I had to grind for, the things that I failed at and I tried again and then later on I achieved. Those are the things that I hold up in my life as my greatest achievements. Now, I'm still human. I still want to, when I see the easy way, I'm attracted to it, but my stubbornness say, I know it's BS, and I go the hard way. And that comes with maturity, but never let your perceived intellect or the perceived intellect of someone else think that they are not susceptible to being scammed. Because at the end of the day, we're all just experts within our area. That's all. We're experts within our area. I have many attorneys that are clients of mine, horrible with money. And they have no understanding of even how tax law work. And I asked them, didn't you have to take a tax law class in law school? They say, nope, it was an elective. I didn't have to. So, and doctors, I have doctors who are clients of mine. They do not know how money works, but they can make it. So it doesn't, being smart in our world really just means you're probably a really refined expert in a particular category, but it doesn't mean you know everything and you can be susceptible to a scam. Easy. Actually, from what I remember reading a study, that people who are highly specialized in a particular area, they may be even more attracted to a scam outside of their area because they don't want to be perceived as being dumb by asking too many questions in an area where they're not an expert. So they'll go along to get along to continue the image of they know everything. Me, I'll ask the dumb question. Ain't no big, as long as the money stays in my pocket, I'll ask the dumb question. How does that work? Huh? Nah, that seems silly to me. Well, JT, you just don't know how it works. Well, explain it to me then. I'm the dummy. Like, I'll do all of that. But once again, I have the personality of an a-hole. And I love to argue. And I love to do stuff like that. So while it keeps money in my pocket, I only got like 5 real friends. To be real, I only got like 5 real close friends because I'm a bit of an a-hole. But, y'all get the benefit of my a-hole experience to make you aware of scams. But, I don't wish my personality on other people because it's a tough personality to get along with.
All right, man, I appreciate you. I got one more last thing to say. I don't know if you've seen this, but I don't know. I just wanted to. I wanted to see if you were going to cover this. But your guy Jay Morrison just announced he's doing another fund. So I don't know what's up with that.
I've got a short. Yes,
I'm sure you're going to cover that.
I'm aware. If you go to my my channel and go to my shorts, my most recent short covers that a little bit. I'm going to go more in depth in it later on. I'm a little busy with my actual day job, with my firm. But if you go to my YouTube channel, go to my shorts, my most recent short It's about the return of Jay Morrison and his plans to do a new fund. Absolutely.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. You have a good one. All right, people. Listen, I know I probably missed a lot of super chats, and I apologize. Right? I apologize. I know I saw O'Shea Duke Jackson, my big bro. He came through early in the chat in the video. Thank you so much, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Everybody in here, I'm trying to get Debt Free Dad is in the building. Shouts out to Debt Free Dad. Everyone who super chatted me, thank you. I appreciate it. There's some people in the chat saying, "Oh, Billy's going to sue you for." Listen, Billy, if you really believe that you have a winnable defamation lawsuit, number one, you probably need to contact your lawyer, because I've called her at least 10 times. She doesn't return my call. So I think either she's blowing smoke or you're blowing smoke, because I've called her 10 times over the past 3 or 4 days and she doesn't return phone calls. Seems kind of odd to me, but honestly, I guess it's normal, because when Earn Your Leisure sent me a cease and desist order, I called her 10 or 15 times and she never returned my call. Probably because I'm not a lawyer, but I understand defamation. I actually had to take business law. So real quick before I go, I took business law in college. We had to understand the difference between slander, libel, and defamation, and how that works. I want you to understand how hard it is to prove defamation. Real quick, how hard is it to prove defamation? Defamation is hard because of this. Proving that someone said something wrong is not defamation. If someone says something wrong and it financially hurts you, that still is not defamation. From my understanding as a financial advisor who took business law classes. From my understanding, and Debt Free Dad, he's an attorney, all my attorney pocket watches, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But with a defamation case, not only do you have to prove that what the person said was wrong, not only do you have to prove that the thing that they said was wrong hurt you financially, you also have to prove that they knew what they were saying was wrong when they said it, and they said it anyway in order to hurt you financially. That is a very high mark. And that is why I am 100% secure in what I feel a defamation lawsuit that Billy will not win, is because everything I said and I presented, I believe is true. And I showed you the documentation that led me to believe it's true. Now, if he has documentation to show that it's wrong, number one, he hasn't presented it to me. His lawyer hasn't presented it to me, and I called to get that information to show that I'm wrong. But even if I am wrong, I wasn't aware I was wrong based on the information I was provided. And I wasn't saying it to financially hurt you. So for you to be able to win a defamation lawsuit, it's going to be tough. You can blow smoke to your audience. You can blow smoke to your followers who are rallying behind you. Yeah, get them, get them, get them. Okay. There's one thing about being right. When you're right, time is on your side. When you're right, all you need is time, and it'll be revealed. So for everyone who's a Billy Carson fan, you're in the chat saying that Billy's going to get you. Oh, Billy's going to get you. I want to remind you this. Earn Your Leisure fans were in my chat over a year ago when they said they were going to sue me. Haven't been sued yet. Time. That's all I need. Time will prove that I'm right. So let's give it some time. Where will we be 3 months from now? Where will we be a year from now? I want you to remember, this video is not going down. On the year anniversary, right? The 1 year anniversary of this video next year, I'm probably going to do an update. And I'm going to ask you, where are you at? All of you Billy Carson fans and cheerleaders who said that he's going to sue me and he's going to win a defamation lawsuit. Okay, meet me back here. Same bat time, same bat channel in a year. And let's just see what happens. If I was a betting man, I would say I'm going to be just fine. Because I'm still here. Earn Your Leisure has 1 million subscribers now. Not one court case. Nothing. Pocket Watch is doing fine. And I probably will continue to be just fine. So y'all guys have a great night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Share. Make your comments. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it. Let me know why. But the Pocket Watch is not going anywhere. Y'all have a great night. Oh, of course, I have a course. My course is free. I teach a free course on how to create a budget, how to get out of debt. Go to my website, pocketwatcher.net. Click the Pocket Watcher Academy. You will get a free course and you'll go through stages to help you learn how to budget, learn how to build up an emergency savings fund, and learn how to pay down debt. 100% free. I do not charge for the course. I have no referral links in the course where I make money if you buy this. It's 100% free because most of you won't do it because it actually takes work. So I'm going to give it to you, even though there's people say, oh, all right, here it is. There's the course, how to get out of debt, how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. How many people will do it? Probably not many, because you actually have to work, and it's not some sort of get-rich-quick scheme. All right, y'all have a great night. The Pocket Watcher is out.